Happy Saturday. We're going to do some Ask Angel cards and talk about the energies. I think it's needed as we are getting ready for tomorrow. We have our eclipse, and of course Monday is the equinox. Just give me 1 minute while I find this video and get it set up and shared out. If you're just finding me, take a second to say hi, connect with the energies, leave a comment. Make sure you're also hitting the share button, especially if you're trying to get cards and things like that. Just give me 1 minute while I'm hitting the share button. And we're going to talk about today's energies, which are very, very connected with the energies of the eclipse that's happening, as eclipses amplify whatever other, we'll say, energies are happening, astrology, alignments, and things like that too. So it's working hand in hand with today's energies. We'll talk about that as soon as we get started. Make sure you guys are dropping a comment, say hi, connect with the energies. All right, I'll let you guys share this out so we can get started. All right, so we're in this space as we're kind of getting ready for the equinox and the energies. And I don't want to say they're like rest energies, because I'm learning how to navigate these energies myself, and I like when they're going up better than when they're going down after. And I think that we start to feel really, really good. And this is the time if you need to like get things done, manifest, make your moves. We're going to start to feel pretty good in these energies. And we're already starting to feel that wave as it's coming in now for tomorrow's energies and the next day. So we have a lot of powerful astrology happening. First up today, we have Venus, which is in Virgo, which is square Uranus and Gemini. Squares can bring a little bit of a tension or tense energy, and that's okay. And today's energies are very important for the eclipse clearing that's happening tomorrow. Today you're getting clarity of what you need to change, what you need to clear, what you need to work through. Now, because we have Venus in Virgo, all about your love life. Now, this isn't necessarily getting rid of your connections. It's your own patterns that might be coming up or things you need to kind of tweak, heal, refine, or even detox in your love life so that you can kind of, we'll say, shift certain things. So there might be like certain themes. I always say pay attention to the themes that are coming up today for you specifically, because these themes are going to play out over the next couple of days. So today is meant to give you kind of clarity if you have things coming up, things you need to heal, things you're focusing on, things going on in your everyday life. Can give you a lot of insights, things going on within you. Whatever themes are coming up today, it's helping you. So tomorrow, the eclipse is great for clearing things. It helps us to eclipse things out of our life or out of our timeline, and, you know, energetically too. And of course, the equinox brings a lot of very, very high frequency energy. So today we're going to talk a little bit about light codes in the light body as we're going into these cards and things that are going to kind of go on. Now, you might feel the need to actually be like purging things out, healing, detoxing as we're kind of moving in through literally the last couple of hours of Virgo season. And then today with this Venus in Virgo, which will stay in there a little bit, but with these energies, you know, pay attention to the overall themes that might be coming up in your love life. This could be connected with the lessons that are playing out, lessons you've been working on your whole lifetime, or just themes that you're moving through right now. And we're going to get started. I brought some Ask Angel cards today, so we'll kind of get started with that. But make sure you guys are checking out my website. I put a couple things up this morning on there on the energies if you want to kind of dive deeper into this. I'm always trying to post little things around. Right? Check out my website, sparksofdivinelighealing.com. I spend a lot of time, more than socials, I hope, posting on there. I have a lot of really amazing healings up for the next couple of days. I have stuff up for today. I have stuff up for the eclipse. And of course, I have stuff up for the equinox. Tomorrow we meditate. A lot of people ask me, I do twice a month meditation. So tomorrow is the new moon. I always do meditations on the new moon and full moon, so pretty easy to remember. And of course, it's the eclipse. So we're going to be meditating tomorrow. You sign up on my website, I send you the link, and we do that video. So I will be videoing, but not cards, doing meditation tomorrow. And I have lots of, like I said, amazing stuff up there in my shop. You can always do anything in my shop if it's up there, because I'm pretty good about it, flipping it over, obviously. So you can do anything in my shop anytime. Check out the healings. Great time to be. We want to be working with these energies and not letting them pass us by. We want to be doing healing activation work, really connecting with them. It can really, really help you and set you so far forward on your own individual path too. But let's get started doing some cards. Make sure you guys are booking me on my website, sparksofdivinelighealing.com if you need me. If you guys are able to send PayPal donations or stars or be a supporter, please do. It helps to keep this page going. It's a really awesome way you can give something back if you're getting something out of my content, out of this page. So when you're sending stars, I try to give you a psychic shout out, okay? And it's always needed, by the way. So let's get started. I brought these Ask Angel cards. They're some of my favorite go-to cards. I see Tracy May. Good morning. Crystal clear intention. This is you manifesting using these new moon energies. And okay, the only thing I don't do with eclipses is charge my crystals. But everything else, like, carry on, do what you would do with a regular new moon, right? And so that's the best time to be putting our intentions out there or setting intentions for the new, tapping into the new energies and things like that. For me anyway, so you want to continue to manifest. And the reason why we want to really do the work around these eclipses, they amplify everything kind of going on. Just like that last blood moon eclipse, it was lit. Didn't you notice? The planet lit. And we're going into this next wave of it, and it's going to be just like that. And when we deal with eclipses, it makes that new moon already much more powerful, okay? And we want to be tapping into that. And the reason why it's also so important is because if we're not using these moons, your timelines can go any which way. You can literally land in whatever parallel universe timeline. And so we want to set the course of what direction we're headed in, right? And not just kind of land somewhere or end up somewhere, jokes aside. So it's very important that we're putting out good intentions with this new moon energy, because it's not just your manifestations, it is, but it's actually, you know, the direction you're going to travel in, like the timelines that you're ending up on. What we're creating is so powerful with the life that you're going to be living, what you're going to be experiencing, and shifting to higher timelines and things like that. And I know it's easy to say that's all you need to do is just stay positive and put good thoughts out there. This is Earth, right? And that requires doing the inner work and actually making that happen. But it really is that simple. We just have our own stuff we need to sometimes clear or go into. So make sure that you're putting out good intentions, good thoughts, manifestation energy, focusing on your dreams, goals, wherever it is you want life to take you, because this is powerful energy for just that when we're dealing with tomorrow's eclipse energy, the equinox too. I love the equinoxes and solstices. You guys know I talk a lot about it on my page, just kind of tapping in and using these energies. And we have such supercharged energies as these are coming at us back to back. They're combined, right? So when we go through the equinox, it brings a lot of solar lunar energy, but a lot of galactic energy at the same time. And same with this, we'll say this eclipse too. So it's action packed right now too, from Saturday, through Sunday, from Sunday through Monday. So expect a lot of heightened energies as we're moving through already through the next 72 hours. And even when we're dealing with eclipses, we feel whatever themes you're moving through, healing or working through, we're going to be feeling that for the next even 6 months moving forward. And same with the equinox, it brings through the themes of the next, we'll say 4 months. So they have very lasting impact, the energies too. Okay, we're going to do Donna Nelson. Honor how far you come. I love this because and that's the butterfly message. I did a video, which I'll put up later, side note, right? And I was doing mediumship stuff because right now the veil is very, very thin in a good way. And I know spooky season. Welcome to spooky season in a good way. So when the veil is thin, number one, we get a lot more clarity. That's why we have all this Uranus energy. It's showing you any changes you need to make in your life, things you need to shift. But there's a lot of spiritual energy and a lot of spirit energy. And that's a good thing, because sometimes when everything is very thick, we say the veil, right? This is actually the divide between worlds and realms and dimensions and our world and the afterlife and things like that too. But when it's very, very thin, not only do we get the clarity, but we can receive a lot of messages in a powerful way, and it makes things a lot easier. So when it's very thick, think foggy energy, and you don't know where you're going and you don't know what to do in life, and when it thins, you know, we should kind of just have this clarity of like what direction to go, what to be working on, what to be doing. And it's a good thing as we move into this part of the year, and we move through different cycles, just as the earth goes through different seasons and cycles, and so do we. And so as we're moving into the autumn and with this eclipse, if there's things that you need to let go of, they're going to be highlighted and bothering you at this time. Maybe you've done a lot of work, we hope, right? Maybe you're doing the work and you don't have so much to let go of, but if people have a lot to let go of or release or things going on, it definitely comes up more during these times. Now, this is a beautiful message coming through because it's a spirit message and from a loved one on the other side. And we can get, as I said, a lot of messages through in a very, very powerful way. And just to see how much work you've done, how far you've come. Yeah, we got a lot more to go, right? But you've come so far. And so this is like seeing that. And this is all about the transformation as a person that we go through. And this is what Earth is actually about, past what we think it's about, right? With all the ego stuff, it's actually how much you're changing. And I mean, on a spiritual level, a soul level, but you can see that as, you know, you've moved from these different versions of yourself to this one, and even you're moving towards the next ones. And that's why we want to do the work on ourselves, because it helps us to become better versions of ourselves. And that's what it's all about too. So you've come so far. Of course, you have to keep going, right? But you're being guided. You have loved ones on your side in spirit, and they're sending you messages. And I love that blue butterfly symbolism because it's such a powerful spiritual message. When we see the butterfly, obviously it represents our inner journey and our inner transformation, but also spirit and spiritual messages and loved ones by our side. You know, I'll say helping you to navigate whatever you're going through. Let's do Charlotte. Awakened creativity. So as you're doing this healing work, you should be having a lot more energy. Frequencies going up on planet Earth. We're able to hold and handle that energy, but also to channel that energy. And this is why a lot of you guys are being guided to get creative. And this could be in many different ways. Like literally, sometimes it's just, and I see that a lot on social media. Like all of a sudden people putting a lot of like making things, I'll say creative making thing energy. It could be like channeling it into music, poetry, art, writing, you know, making things, whatever it is. And this goes into every facet or area of our life. And you could be like, well, I'm not that creative. I hope you are. But if you're not, well, I always remind you guys that you're creating every second of your life and you can get creative with it. And if I was to walk into your life and into your house, down to the little knickknacks around your house, you've manifested all of that stuff, right? Every little detail of your life. Like, you know, I could walk into your house and whatever's up, the art on your walls, the little magnets on your fridge, or whatever it is, you've manifested all of these little details, right, in your life. So this is like a manifestation energy, but it's also getting creative moving forward. But for some, this is like the creative buzz, where that's part of the 5D of like kind of whether you're following that creative energy flow and where it's guiding you, tapping into artistic potential. It could be like hobbies, things you want to do, what you're manifesting. And I love this because it's very sacral chakra energy and getting a buzz off of it. And when you're doing that kind of stuff, you do get a buzz off of it and you feel pretty good. Like, so tapping into your creative side, that's something we do as children that I miss and love, right? Oftentimes it depends. You know, sometimes when you're a kid, they encourage a lot of that creative kind of stuff until as we get older and older, they put us into the other side of the brain and we're doing mathematics and science and all this stuff, which I don't mind that either, but you notice that. And so that's a lot of our program takes us out of that creative flow, which we're pretty good at when we're kids. You could play make-believe or for hours, probably you could probably paint something you were drawing, right? Doodling, whatever it was. It's just that kind of energy flow. So you're being guided. And I was going to bring inner child cards. So this reminds me of that today, to nurture your inner child and just to get creative. This could be gifts that you know you have that you've been setting aside. For some, this could be like, you know, you knew you were a painter your whole life, but you didn't have time for that. You're on Earth, right? And it could be picking up the paintbrush, and it could be gifts that you know you have that are dormant and you just haven't done for a while to reactivate and bring online because there's something there. Or it could be trying something new and, you know, you've never tried, we'll just keep using painting, for example, painting. And, you know, your friend was like, hey, come do a painting class, and you were pretty good at it. And that could take you somewhere. We see people taking these, you might think they're small creative gifts and using them in huge ways. And so it just kind of depends. This could be for a hobby, or maybe you're being guided to get creative about other things you're doing, like with your income or whatever it is. I always say to pay attention to creative ideas. Sometimes they're coming from spirit or very divinely guided. I see Rose. Good morning. Nurture your physical body. And we're getting out of the Virgo energy, but not yet. We're very strongly in it. And when we have Venus and Virgo, it's kind of touching the divine feminine side of things, but also that get healthy kind of vibe that we're meant to be in for Virgo season. Even though we're going to shift in, a couple days with the equinox, we're still in it. You're being guided to really clean up how you're taking care of yourself, how you're treating yourself, and to take care of your physical body. It's a very important part of Earth and being here, but also Ascension. It's your Ascension year, right? And we're trying to activate it and do better with it and clean it out and vibrate higher. So take care of your physical body. And I put this up this morning, being more mindful of the food you're putting in it, right? Of what you're eating, what you're doing with it, how you're treating yourself. Some people could be like, run down and not really treating yourself good. Some of you guys are probably treating yourself really good and being more mindful of your diet, the food you eat, and what you're kind of putting in your body. But this doesn't always have to be food. It can just be how you're taking care of yourself physically. And whenever we've had to, and this is part of the human body, sometimes we think our human bodies are we think they're very, very strong, but sometimes we could get illness. We could have something wrong with us. You could, bang your knee or whatever it is, right? And so we have to learn how to ebb and kind of flow with that and to take better care of ourselves. So when your body is, I say screaming, trying to get your attention, like you have an injury or you're hurt or, you have something kind of coming up with it, to slow down and take care of it and to nurture it and to heal it. And so our body lets us know when we need to heal something. And sometimes when it's out of balance, these are the imbalances that come up. It's trying to get our attention in certain areas and things like that too. So just make sure that you're nurturing your body. It's so important if you're needing it in certain areas to slow it down and give it what it needs. Teresa. Personal development, my favorite because it reminds me of Stonehenge. Might not be, but this is like my Stonehenge card. You're being guided to continue to study and learn and kind of go back to school. That's what we do here on Earth as well too. This is school, by the way. I always say it's almost like going to, if you were going to send your kid to school in the morning, 9 to 5, it's like that. And when you dream, you're actually going to other dimensions and realms where you actually come from. But we wake up here every morning and leave at night, right? So we're here Earth School. We're here to learn. We're here to study. We're here to better ourselves. And it just kind of depends on your curriculum of what you're choosing to do with your time here. But we're being guided when we have a spiritual awakening, and a lot of people gravitate to that to learn new things. And could be to study, learning cosmic knowledge, bringing gifts online, whatever it is, to stay open to learning. That's why I have, and you guys know this, I'm always if you haven't taken Reiki, I have Reiki and Sikhem classes on my website. I have classes in everything from angels to mediumship and learning how to really activate and tap into this stuff. I have classes on Lemuria, Atlantis, all of this stuff. Stay open to learn in some type of way, and this will help you because you're integrating any knowledge here. And by the way, I'm always so glum and stuff. That's all you're taking with you when you leave Earth is the knowledge that you got here, and it will help you moving forward after this lifetime and into your next life. So the more that we expand our consciousness or expand ourselves, we're going to take that with us, whether into your next leg of the journey here, and you'll have an easier time, or even, into the next life and things like that too. You're going to bring all of that knowledge with you. So stay open to learn. It's one of the most powerful things that we can do that'll make our path moving forward much easier. That when we can, bring this cosmic knowledge into things, you're going to have an easier time navigating things. You're going to bring that with you. You're going to expand your consciousness, and that's what it's all about. And so you'll have a better time moving forward wherever you're headed in your journey. Maybe your soul is kind of guiding you to learn new things or to study things, and I mean within the metaphysical, within the spiritual, and to kind of come into some more knowledge. Let's do Alicia Dawson, synchronicity. And I love this because oftentimes we can get synchronicity in many different forms. You might think these are meaningful coincidences. Now, it could be repeating patterns in your life. A lot of times people have had the same, not to pick, the same lesson a couple of times. It's very familiar. And instead of noticing that and being I've been at this place before, I've attracted this before, I've been in this same situation before. These are patterns. patterns can give us great insights into what's going on. And of course we have other things like you might think it's a coincidence, you know, and these are spirit messages that come through in just so many different ways and forms. And, you know, you can sound a little cray-cray when you're trying to tell your friends or family about it, because these are messages just for you. They have great meaning to you. It could be a song that you hear all of the time, or maybe it's your song and you're hearing it someplace. And sometimes this could be angel numbers and reoccurring numbers that are coming to us. That's one of the most familiar, one of the biggest ways I think people do draw synchronicity into their life. And it's a powerful alignment happening between you and the spiritual. This could be just seeing 111 on your clock all the time, or, you know, picking up your phone and you're seeing 444. And they can come to us in many different ways, but your spirit guides and angels in the universe are always sending you, and of course loved ones in spirit are always sending you signs and synchronicities to get your attention. And, you know, they were probably sending you, jokes aside, that direct download, and maybe you got it, maybe you, it's like getting mail. Like, we can look at a download as like, it's like something hitting your Gmail, and maybe some people are opening that up and reading it, right? And maybe some people it's just sitting in your inbox and you haven't activated those gifts and abilities, but it's there. And so some people can miss the messages, but when you're seeing like a synchronicity like the angel number code, you're probably getting the message. So it's one way that they can get a message to you and real loud and clear if you're missing the other downloads or messages they're trying to send to you, because spirit is always communicating with us, whether it's your angels, loved ones in spirit, spirit guides, or even the universe is always trying to get your attention. They're like, hey, and sometimes we're catching that and sometimes we're not. But most of the time when people are seeing reoccurring number code or angel number, they're getting the message. They're like, okay. And it's up to you to kind of decode some of these signs and synchronicities. But a lot of times this can bring a lot of positive energy and even motivation and moving forward into our life. And it's letting you know that you're not by yourself going through this. Francisca Faith, emotional clearing. So as the frequencies are going up on planet Earth and we're holding more of this light, the density comes up at the same time. And so this is why, and I can look back, I talk a lot about my own experience when the frequencies begin to rise on planet Earth. And I know it's not just like this for me, it's for everyone. That was my wake up call moment of like, okay, something began to happen in my life. I'll just leave it like that, right? And so a lot of you guys might be going through a spiritual awakening, and this is why, and this is what's going to wake up the rest of the planet, and everyone is going through that, whether they're aware of that or not, or it's just happening on a conscious, subconscious level. They're all still kind of going through some of the changes due to the frequencies going up. And one of the biggest things that happens is anything that we're holding negative within our energy field, whether negative thoughts, it's amplified and they begin to play out, karmic energies, traumas, blocks, whatever, it kind of gets triggered to the surface because this is dense energy that we're, I want to say, storing, holding within our energy field. So a lot of things get triggered in our life, and a lot of people, that's why a lot of people go through a lot of like tower moments, and I talk about dark night of the soul, and you know, having to navigate these energies, we'll call them, at different points of their awakening, because everything kind of comes to the surface that needs to be healed. And so this is an emotional healing and clearing kind of card. This is why a lot of heavy emotions come up, especially if these energies, they amplify how you feel. That's emotional energy, right? Having a bad day, and I know this from the work I do, it might feel a little more extreme. You're having a great time, you know, you feel the euphorias and maybe the crashes after, and so you begin to feel your emotions a lot more that are coming up, but we're having to clear that energy too, and not stay stuck in it. We're learning how to shift out of it. This is why clearing work is so important, to clear out negative energies that might be stirring up from within, or even that we've picked up from around us and things like that too. So if you're an empath, you're definitely absorbing everyone's energy around you. And then, of course, we're dealing with our own, right? Having to deal with a lot of stuff coming up, you know, lifetimes of trauma, past lives of trauma, and all of this stuff that we're transmuting on a deeper spiritual and even soul level. And so clearing work is just so important. Doing the energy work is crucial in these type of energies to feel better, but also to keep our energy clear. Spiritual hygiene is such a must, and keeping our energy better and learning how to do that so that we can shift out of, because when you learn how to do this, you can shift out of heavy energy a lot faster. You can vibrate a lot higher and begin to really bring your frequency up. So you're being guided to make sure that you're doing clearing practices. This is why I show up like all the time. I'm like, hey, I got tons of clearings. You can notice on my website. So taking good care of your energy for you, and learning how, when you need a clearing and things like that too. especially if people are going through something in their life, or, you know, have a lot of even just things within yourself. I see a lot of people, their life might be going great, but they begin to purge heavy in these energies at different times. It just kind of depends what's going on too. So if we're having things come up in our life outside of ourselves that are triggering us or triggering lots of stuff, not to stay stuck, keyword stuck, in some of those heavier energies, or even dealing with what's coming up from within that we're purging out, because we all are purging out and releasing things. I see Curtis, you are ascending, and this is raising your vibrational frequency. That's how we go up, right? We go up or down, and raising our vibrational frequency, because everything is frequency. And so we have to continue to do things to raise our vibrational frequency. And as we are, this is bringing online, you are a light body, okay? Then this is bringing on the light body even more strongly, and we're clearing out the density. We're vibrating a lot higher. And of course, then this is where the gifts and abilities come online, because when we're at that, we've all been through it, those dense, lower frequency energies, it's like stuff doesn't work right. This is why a lot of times when people drop down in frequency or haven't done that frequency work, it's like your superpowers aren't working. Like it's just not working as fast. This is why when people get like stuck in certain situations in their life or whatever it is, you could feel like you're losing your gifts and abilities because they're not working as good in the lower. Now, the more, we're talking about the opposite, the more that you do ascend and do that spiritual work on yourself to vibrate higher, they're going to come in very, very fast, and you're going to be able to tap into this stuff a lot more too, into the spiritual a lot more too. So you want to do things like frequency work and raising your vibrational frequency so that you can vibrate higher. And one of the best ways we talk about, obviously, this is all on the energy level to me, right? But of course, things like, you know, staying positive, changing your thoughts, changing your life, and paying attention to your spirit guides as you're moving through this. If we have Uranus energy today, guiding you to make changes in your life that are serving you, so that, especially if those changes are around clearing dense or heavy energies in your life, but of course within our field, within our frequency too. So for you, doing things that are good for your energy, you know, so you can vibrate at a higher frequency and a higher level. Things happen faster at the higher level. Heavier energy, dense energy, things are moving real slow. And this is why when people need like to do some type of energy healing, some indicators of that are feeling sluggish, feeling unmotivated, feeling heavy, right? Like feeling lethargic, because when we're more clear, we vibrate a lot higher, we hold a lot more energy. Okay, we're gonna do Tracy G. Connect with nature. This helps us to ground and release negative energies and to feel a lot better, especially like when people are overthinkers. Air signs here, raise your hand, right? If you have a lot of that in your chart, it's like some people need that. I see that with a lot of water signs, air signs, fire. Well, that's another topic, right? But some signs sometimes, and I feel this about balancing the elements. We're all made of elements. You are made of stardust. You're made of little particles of stars, and your astrology chart, your birth chart, is going to help you, because when you activate it and get to the higher, it tells you a lot about, it's like your course here, what lessons you're working on. This is why when you guys have got a reading for me, only the first call, don't worry, I'm getting very fast. Like I spend the first few minutes going over your chart, certain areas with you, because it's a great icebreaker, and it tells me what is going on with you and what lessons you might be working on or whatever. So our astrology can give us great insights into that. And of course, we're made of elements, okay, within our makeup. And sometimes we might be lacking a certain element really strong. And if you're going to notice within your relationships, you generally attract the opposite of what you need. Like it's not what you got a lot of, it's usually what you're deficit in, by the way. It's highlighting imbalances in some type of way. And I feel that when we're dealing with the elements, we have like someone really, really strong in a certain element, they might need something else within our chart, so we can become more balanced. We say more whole. We can become more balanced by connecting with elements that we might be lacking. And nature is one of the best ways that we can do that too, to stay grounded. And so when we see things like overthinking and stress and worry and the energy is really, you know, affecting you, grounding can help make you feel a lot better. But it's also where humanity maybe has gone wrong, right? We live with all of these LED lights and cut down all the trees, and I see cities, like some cities here on earth that don't even have a tree in them. Like literally it's just all buildings. And that is really bad for our energy field, for our aura and things like that too. When we're in nature more, we feel a lot better because we were actually designed to live in nature. We were designed to be outside. And I know, right? And really that's our connection with Earth as well too. But it's a powerful connection that we have the more that we can get back into nature. And this is why I see so many people with having a spiritual awakening where suddenly you're guided to like get into nature more, connect with nature, just to go wherever it is, even going for a walk, spending more time. It could be just out in your yard. You don't have to do much, right? Sitting outside, going for a walk, connecting with nature, going and exploring places. You'll start to feel a lot more, we call it like we're grounded and better. Grounding can help us to not only heal, but to integrate all of these galactic energies, because, sometimes we're getting all that upper energy and we're needing to bring it back down. A lot of people have, we'll say, chakra issues. If you haven't done a ton of healing on your chakra system, you're going to have a lot of imbalances and blocks. But a lot of people struggle with the lower chakras. We've been in those 3 dimensions our whole life. Oftentimes we're needing to get that energy down, especially if you're like a starseed, you're working on your ascension path, you're probably, connecting with source, I hope, and very in the upper chakras. Sometimes we need to work on the lower ones, especially the root chakra, and getting that energy down there, especially that earth energy from going up, right? So work on your root chakra for you, grounding, connecting with nature. Let's do lily paw. Download divine love. When we can vibrate in love, and you're going to notice hopefully a lot of your lessons have centered around love, right? And healing your love life. When we can vibrate in a frequency of love for ourselves and other people, and that's what we're learning within this journey, our light body comes online a lot stronger and clears away a lot of the density and things like that too, and it really begins to activate from the inside out too. And so that we have a lot of focus on, and you've been hearing me talk about it a lot the past, I do anyways, but the last 2 years, healing your love life, especially with some of the themes that are playing out collectively and astrologically. We have a big focus there, especially right now. This eclipse, like, I didn't think it because it's a Virgo new moon, but it's bringing up a lot of those themes because of today's energies we were talking about and things like that too. And then when we can master that area with it for ourselves and with others. So that's why we talk a lot about, self-love, taking care of yourself as the foundation for everything in your life. And of course, nurturing your connections and being in the right connections is coming up too. And a lot of these themes continuing to play out so we can better integrate this. You start to feel a lot better. You ever notice when you're like happy in your relationship, you're happy, smiling, glowing, right? And it can bring a lot of positive energy into your life. And so we're going through continuing to go through a lot of lessons and stuff like that. It's meant to raise up your vibrational frequency and make you feel better. But a lot of I don't want to call them karmic contracts, but a lot of the contracts in our life have karmic undertones where you're not just meeting people for the first time, even though you think you did. These are past life people coming back into your awareness so you can heal ancient rifts and heal things and work on certain lessons. And it doesn't matter who it is in your life, because sometimes our connections can tell us a lot about what we're healing and what we're working on or working through. They're coming up to help you in some type of way. And even if they didn't seem that great, like if you're to rate some of them, they're here to help you to heal certain issues or blocks in that area, or to open you up to love more, to teach you things about love or relationships. And a lot of our contracts are laid out like that. So even, challenging ones, and you could look at the negatives in it, they're meant to teach you the positives of the reverse and things like that. So you could go through, I'm just making up something, someone could go through a really bad relationship where they feel it was very, taking their power, but it's meant to empower you once you, choose to not do that anymore or whatever. So a lot of times our connections are meant to help us to heal blocks around love, whether we realize it or not. We've been working on many across our lifetime. And as we're opening up to, connecting deeper, self-love, learning about ourselves, learning about other people, and connecting on a deeper level too. So this is kind of like a healing your love life theme. However, that could be playing out in the now or even through the course of your lifetime, because we continue to learn many things over the course of your lifetime, and opening up to divine downloads and messages that are coming about your specific situation. We're always getting insights and clarity, especially with the eclipse as a revealer. It is showing you the unconscious. Even though I think of it like we're having a solar eclipse, but it's very moon energy. And when these energies combine for tomorrow's eclipse, it should be giving you clarity and revealing things that you probably, maybe you noticed or you didn't notice maybe you noticed or didn't notice, or you noticed and weren't really listening to. It's showing you on a deeper level things that you weren't aware of, things on an unconscious level when we deal with that moon energy, patterns, things you need to notice about yourself, your love life, kind of coming up. These themes are coming up with this eclipse energy, meant to help you and to heal certain things. Okay, we're going to do David Kirk, angel healing energy, connecting with the angels to bring more positive energy into your life. And even to heal certain things. And it could be anything that you can work with your angels on. And we're learning how to do that for many different areas of our life that may need healing, or even just connecting with those divine energies. I love, one of my favorite things to do, obviously, is energy healing and meditation, because it helps me to connect with the spiritual and to anchor into the spiritual. And I know that even though it might not feel like that, that's doing spiritual work as well, too. And it's helping on obviously me in my own life, but also on the collective level. The more that we're drawing on these, I call them forces, drawing on these energetic forces, whether to help ourselves or just to bring positive healing energy into our life, it's helping us to align with those frequencies. And the more that you connect and channel, connect with and receive downloads and channel, you're learning how to, like I say, speak angel. You're learning how to channel that energy for other people. You're learning how to speak angel. You're integrating that. So even if you're just someone like getting a lot of angel numbers and looking it up and learning how to decode that and getting those messages, maybe you're directly getting these messages and insights. The more that you're connecting with the angels, you're integrating that into the physical. And our entire mission and objective here on Planet Earth is to activate our own higher, we'll say, blueprint and 5D template, and that is very angelic. It's very galactic. It's very angelic, and to bring that down into the physical and to upgrade from this 3D asleep version of ourselves that was like the lower, we'll call it the lowest, the lower of ourselves, and to heal and to upgrade ourselves and upgrade our blueprint and to bring that online, which is very angelic, and bringing that here down into the physical. This is why the angels can really help us as we are moving through our spiritual awakening and ascension process and things like that too. So working with your angels brings a lot of angelic energy into your life, healing energy into your life, and can help you with the upgrades that you're going through, and even integrating that here into the physical, and also teaching you, we talked about knowledge. Let's do Mike B. Breathe and come aware. I love this because this is my chakra card. Big focus on the heart chakra, which is always the bridge between things. So we go through a lot of heart chakra healing, which is, we talked about the old stuff coming up that we have to deal with. And that's, when we do, we have such incentive to. We don't have to go through the karmic cycles with other people triggering it and showing it to us. The more we can dive into ourselves and do this work, we have an easier time. We don't have to play it out through external dramas as much. So you're noticing a lot of people, when they go through a spiritual awakening, I always talk about it changing the trajectory of things. And the more that you're focused on healing certain things, the universe doesn't have to, do these dramas with you, and it gets so much easier. So we're talking about the chakras with this message, but also healing your heart, letting go of old wounds and things that can block it up. And, this is choosing to release past things that have happened to you. I always call these karmic cycles. And when we choose to let go of our past, things that have happened to us, this opens up our destiny. If we choose to stay stuck on it, it becomes a big block for us of going into those destined dharmic good energies, right? So we need to let go of things that have played out, anything karmically from your past that you've already hopefully been through, right? Old cycles, and letting go of these things and healing these things. We can do this through, love, forgiveness, heart chakra work, clearing our heart chakra, releasing old blocks, old traumas, and things like that. And it really, really helps us. So just more heart chakra work for you, healing your heart chakra, letting go of your past. It could be like things you've been through, and really open up your heart chakra. Okay, we're gonna do Elizabeth M. Progress. We're doing the light body. Our light body is the bridge between who you are right now and your higher self, okay? And it's our spiritual body, but it's just as much part of you as your physical body is. And sometimes we don't realize that. And that's why it's so important that we're also taking care of the physical body, because it's very, I don't want to say wired up, it's very synced up with our light body. They're like the carbon copy, and the Egyptians understood a lot of the different bodies and spiritual bodies and things like that too. So it's very much connected with, and so that's why when we do things that weaken us spiritually, and we can talk about a lot of things that we do that aren't really great for us, not going to go into that rant, we do that a lot, it can weaken our light body. And our light body is going through something as a lot of these energies coming into planet Earth. We're not that used to them. And as we're going into these higher frequency energies, we're having to take better care. We talked about the physical body, but also our light body, as activation isn't like a one-time thing. It's something that we're continuing to go through. And when we go through certain higher frequency energies, such as the equinox, by the way, which is very interesting because we have the eclipse. And to me, it's we talked about clearing energy and letting go energy. And it's perfect for bringing us into the fall, because that's what we do through the fall, right? And some people, maybe you do that really fast, that work. And some people are going to spend the entire autumn, working on releasing things. Okay, so we release things for the autumn, and of course for the equinox, very high frequency energies. We talked about a lot of different energies. We have the solar energies, we have the lunar energies, and of course the galactic energies. And I just call these ascension energies coming into the planet, but they are very galactic. It's these galactic energies where we go through very intense DNA activations and light body activations right now. Right? That's why a lot of people can feel it. A lot of people could be feeling, we talked about ascension symptoms and purging, or just feeling physically tired and, going through it on that level too. And so this is a light body activation kind of card. It's something we have to kind of continue to work on or work through. That's why doing energy healing can help us to bring online anything dormant within our energy field, such as, obviously we go into DNA, but that's another talk, but we go into the light body, and bringing that online, especially if it's dormant or not fully activated, it can really, really help us moving through this process. And it can help us a lot with the awakening process. I'm getting the message, but I don't want to say it, but that's why a lot of people, I'm going to say it, because I am getting the message. A lot of people might be choosing to not do this ascension with us, and they might be leaving Earth, but it's more of a light body thing of why, because if they had their light body activated, they'd be okay through this. And some people are not doing great in some of this. So the more that we can bring online our light body, we're going to do better in this. We're going to be feeling better. We're going to be integrated into that. And, we're stepping or shifting more fully into our light body form as we're clearing out the trauma, the density, the things that have been weighing us down, the things that have been weighing down our frequency, and moving into a higher frequency, a lighter frequency. That's what's happening through this process. We're living much more in the light body, and that's why some of you guys can even see that. Like, a lot of times when you guys are doing this work of healing, people are like, "You're glowing," like, right? You're glowing from the inside out. There's something different about you, like, right? And it's like caterpillar to butterfly. Wow, you've changed. You're vibrating a little different, like, right? You're glowing. You're literally like that. And so it's a process, but you're going to start to notice that, your old self, you're shifting out of that. You're becoming this new higher version of yourself through this process. And that is shifting into the light body and bringing the light body online. This is why doing things for our light body that is important. For our light body is so important with this spiritual work, things like energy healing. I have tons of light body activations on my website. That's going to really help you moving through this process. So this is my caterpillar to butterfly kind of message. And we all know that caterpillar. I'm not sure how long that process works. It's a little bit of a process. They think they're dying. This is your literal awakening. And they are a real organism just like us. And they think they're dying. They go into that cocoon phase, just like awakening, right? And they come out the butterfly. And we do it again and again. Like, right? With the healing that's going on. But when I love the butterfly to the caterpillar, because they are the same being, but they have totally different DNA. So if I was to take the same caterpillar and DNA test it in the butterfly, totally different DNA. And that's what's happening with us as we are able to integrate these changes, and we're able to activate our higher blueprint in our DNA and change it and bring it online. Totally different DNA, like different strands, right? And so that's what we're going through within this awakening process, or what we're meant to go through it, that transformation or that transformative energy. But sometimes you're noticing we go through it in cycles, right? Where it's not like a one day kind of thing. It's a process that we're continuing to navigate. So doing things that are good for your light body. We talked about that coming up with today's energy, like eating better food, getting rest, healing yourself, energy work, meditation, all amazing and going to help you through this process. Okay, I'm going on that note. I'm around. I have healings for today pinned on my video. It's a great day to catch me if you do need it. Got tons of great stuff up for tomorrow's eclipse and Monday's equinox. Make sure you check it out my shop, sparksofdivinelighthealing.com. Have a beautiful rest of your day.